amazed and perplexed and become dumbfounded to the point that I said, no, you got to be possessed? Or should I analyze what you say to me? The same way, whatever I've been telling you over these years, what do you do with it? Do you discuss me as a personality with people outside? Till to the extent you become obsessed with whatever may be me? This should not be. You should not blind yourself to the fact that I can remind you about the guidance of God that you have never been reminded of in your whole life. And that's how we need to operate in life. When we fail to do that, it means we are behaving just like the pagans in the time of the Prophet. And that could be the difference between us and them. And they told the Prophet, they said, we will never believe in you. We will never accept you. We will never find security with what you invite us to. We are never at peace with that. We want you to do some things for us. You know, we hear students of history, of religion, hear of these things called miracles. And you will find the people of every religion talk of the miracles of their prophets. Right? The Christians, they say, oh, look at the miracles of Jesus. He turned water into wine. The Jews says Moses, he performed miracles. He cast his staff on the ground and it becomes snakes. And the Muslims accept that. Why? Because the Muslims are a people who have shown in their history they follow everybody else. And this is the general picture. So they believe God defeated his enemies through magic. What is magic? Something by which the audience is so weakened to understand that they are mesmerized. So they said, the Prophet Mohamed also had miracles. And they make up all these stories that they have not tired of making up. And they give examples of his miracles. One day he had some guests, quite a few guests, and he had a cup of milk. And everybody was drinking and they were filled and the milk was still there. And we say, yes, of course. And next day they said that people were short of water and he stuck his fingers into the ground and water started to sprout out from each of his fingers. And we say, yes. We tell the world that the Prophet split the moon. That's the translation and the explanation that we have bought. Because why? We cannot be left behind. We have to show that our Prophet, or the Prophet of God, who we now claim is our Prophet, was no less than anybody else's Prophet. No Prophet had anything called miracle. And no Prophet came with anything called magic. It is depending on how you understand it. When I have the time on the next occasion, I will discuss the so-called miracle of Moses. And this whole concept of magic, sihr. Ask any student of the Arabic language. Go do the research first. Is this the only meaning of the word? Does the word thu'ban in Arabic translate to mean only snake? Go to the origin of the sources and study without baggage and strings attached. But if you and I are colored blind, definitely there are certain things we will never be able to see. So we follow the pagan explanations of scriptures, of guidance, Therefore, all of these things, we too have to make up some kind of stories to show that this prophet was a magnificent prophet. The strange thing is, his magnificence does not seem to touch us. So the people of his time, they said to him, "O prophet, we will not accept you and your message until you cause a spring to gush forth from this earth." And I told you, he had no such power. He had no such power. Today in Muslim communities, they are parasites in the name of religion. Parasites who tell people they can do this, they can do that, because they are spiritual men or spiritual women. They are the jibt and the taghut that Allah spoke about. But the uneducated Muslim masses don't have time to study the book of Allah, so they go to these people in their own communities who pretend that they can solve their problems. What the ordinary people don't realize, that these men and women who profess to be righteous and pious and people with foresight and insight, they can't even help themselves. How are they going to help you and me? So they told this prophet, they said, "Look, you cause a spring to gush forth from this earth right now." Did he do it? Could he have done it? No way. They said to him, "Okay, you can't do that? Then you better get a garden laden with grapes and laden with palm trees. And between, in this garden, there should be rivers flowing. فَتُفَجُّرَ الْأَنْهَارَ خِلَالَهَا تَفْجِيرًا." Okay, you can't do that? You were telling us that the heavens will fall on us, that the skies will fall down on us. You better make it happen. He couldn't do that. They said, "Okay, then bring God and bring the malaika in front of us." He couldn't do that. They said, "Then give us a house of gold." He couldn't do that. They said, "Then bring a book right now. A complete book of guidance right now. We don't want it in piecemeal." He couldn't do that. What did he say? This is what you and I should learn. And we should tell the world about this. All the messengers of God, they were very honest. They didn't fool around with human lives. He says, "Subhana Rabbi, hal kuntu illa bashara rasula." Am I anything more than a human messenger? That is what we have lost track of. We don't know this man called Muhammad. You take a survey with the average mother and father and grandmother and grandfather and children, Muslim children who are in colleges and universities and who are professionals. They are like minus when you ask them what's the messenger about. They will give you all of these kind of biographies written by people who are full of lies. They don't know the biography of this prophet is found in the Qur'an. But this people wasn't enough to challenge the prophet. They wanted to find fault with him. And the Qur'an tells us in chapter 10, this is a feature of the community. In fact, every prophet met with this experience. The Qur'an says, أَكَانَ لِلنَّاسِ عَجَبًا أَنْ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى رَجُلٍ مِّنْهُمْ. You see? Why was there a matter of surprise in the community to which a messenger of Allah came, that they should see a human being bringing that message? In your life and my life, who do you expect to wake you up? You expect some beast out of the ground to come? some aliens to come from the skies?